Lyons-Weiler coming to you with a special announcement today. As many of you know, we created this online university called IPAC EDU. I've taught 4 courses now through it, including Bio 1 and Bio 2, how to read and interpret a scientific study, as well as um, Spreadsheets 1. And the idea of IPAC EDU is to empower the public, or better yet, help them empower themselves through knowledge. And I have the great pleasure of letting you know that a good friend of mine, and a professional colleague as well, Dr. Michael Gaeta, has actually agreed to accept my challenge to teach a new course. It's a course he hasn't taught before. And this course is called The Biology of Nutrition from Preconception until Old Age. So let's bring Michael on. Michael, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Jack. Good to be together again.
Yeah, good to see you again. What I'd like to do is just have you tell everybody about the course and how it's formatted, how it's going to run, and why they might want to sign up for it.
Yeah, well, my anything that you and I can do together, I'm going to be interested in doing. It's great to collaborate with you again. I appreciate all the work we've done over the years and shared the stage together and taught online together, and it's been great. I've been practicing now as a nutritionist, a dietitian nutritionist, practicing Chinese and functional medicine now for 31 years, and the biology of nutrition, how nutrition sustains life, has been a central focus of my work and career in patient care, but also in teaching over the last 28 years, and it all came from my own challenges and my own health with my own digestive issues and other health problems I had that I learned later, that were very much related to diet. And so that really sparked an interest in me, having overcome a lot of health issues myself in my younger years using nutrition, that I realized its power for myself. And then, having helped, many thousands of patients over the last, decades, how powerful nutrition is for essential it is to life. And I really love what we're doing with this course because we're covering the whole human life cycle from preconception, actually. So we're going to be talking about nutrition for the expectant or hopeful couple, and going all the way through into geriatric and later years consideration. So we're starting with that, and we're going to go 15 weeks. Kind of like, I guess this would be like a 1 credit course in university, an hour a week for 15 weeks. And we're going to have a lecture presentation. We're going to be looking at suggested readings
Yeah.
from the literature. I'm going to suggest some of my favorite books for folks who are interested. And we're going to have a chance for some Q&A, and your massive brilliance can jump in at any time. So I really see this as a very practical consideration of how nutrition and the biological aspects of that, of how nutrition sustains and supports life and well-being. Because these days, this is so important because we live in a time of unprecedented challenge to the body-mind, like in all of human history, modern human history at least, or millennia. The human body-mind has never had such demands of environmental toxicity, of man-made radiation, of stress, and the pace of modern life. We've had, obviously, the government response to COVID has, caused an amazing amount of stress, and so to meet this demand, most people aren't, honestly. And so if we're to look at the model of supply and demand, and how we need enough supply, and a lot of that is nutritional,
Yeah.
but it's also sunlight, exercise, relationships, human connection, living with purpose. All the things that I call supply
Yeah.
are needed to meet the demand of modern life. And what we're seeing today 80% of our healthcare costs are for chronic disease. And what that simply tells us, very simply, is that the supply, all those things, are simply not enough to meet the demands of modern life. And so we're going to look at, at least in the nutritional range, of how we can increase our supply nutritionally to meet the demands of modern life so that we don't end up in that sort of chronic disease and declining health span. Yeah. We're going to look at lifespan versus health span and how important nutrition is for that.
So I'm really excited about that, Michael, because, when I thought of, we need some nutrition courses at IPAC EDU, I thought of you naturally. Yeah. And between the two of us, we're going to play some intellectual badminton together as the semester goes on. Yes. Because I want to challenge you to include in the course and to challenge me right back to help you include in the course, certainly the fundamentals. And that's what IPAC EDU is all about, to empower people by providing them with fundamental knowledge. But the details of, what's happening when an infant is having a meal. What does the infant's digestive tract absorb, not absorb? What's the role of methylation with different food? What do different foodstuffs have? What effect do they have on methylation at different parts of the life cycle, the health cycle? Right. So going right to the primary literature, that's the beauty of this. Challenging, the students, listen, keep up with the reading. Here's the reading. I think it would actually qualify as a 2 credit, at least.
I think so.
Because we assign the readings first, they have to get through the reading, and then they come to, and we should count that effort. But the post-lecture discussions are going to be really interesting, and I think we're going to learn a lot from the students as well. And in building the community, with so many people staying at home, so many people isolated, and society is opening up. But I think we've discovered something at IPAC EDU, that there's a lot of people that really want to reach out and find like-minded people that will come together and have open discussions about things that you're not going to find anywhere else. So
that's right.
So could you take a minute and also talk about your Gaeta Institute and the other courses that you teach over there? This particular course is through IPAC EDU. It's a collaboration of the two.
Yes.
But could you tell people about Gaeta Institute and what that's all about?
Yeah. So our Institute for Holistic Health Education, it's just really, my life is, my professional life is clinical practice with patients. And then teaching. And so the teaching side, so you have the Gaeta Clinic and then the Gaeta Institute. And the Institute is really, its primary work is, and there's a primary and secondary. Primary work is training other health professionals in natural functional medicine and how to apply that successfully in practice. So it's about upgrading patient care and practice success for naturally oriented health professionals. So most of our students are chiropractors and acupuncturists and integrative physicians and naturopaths and holistic nurses and such. And then the secondary is public education. And this would, this is really for a broader audience. Yeah. And our course, certainly fits into that, although I think health professionals will get a lot out of it for sure. Mm-hmm. And so I teach a free weekly webinar on Mondays, shortly before our class, actually, a couple hours before Michael, class. Right. Yep, Mondays with Michael. And so that's open to the public. And then we have public-facing courses like Vaccines and Choice, in addition to the Monday webinars, which, we also collaborated on that too. And so that's what we're about. It's really about, the Gaeta Institute is really, our primary mission is to help co-create a new world of people who are vital and resilient, people who boldly make their positive contribution in the world, and people who choose a new default lifestyle of nature first and drugs last. So nature first, drugs last is really kind of our motto, slogan, whatever you want to call it. Sure. I think it really speaks to, looking to natural, non-invasive, supportive ways of getting well and staying well. And then, sure, we always have, the pharmaceutical world as a last resort, which is necessary at times. So that's really what we're about. It's about It's about education for transformation of our default lifestyle into nature first and drugs last.
No, I absolutely love that this is the direction that we're going. And in a year or so, after 15 lectures, that's a semester, folks. So a whole
Yeah.
semester of time
Yes.
with Dr. Gaeta, and then on top of it, hand selected by him and me the best readings on particular topics, and we certainly want you to bring suggested readings to the classroom as well.
Hmm.
So, I've come to appreciate since knowing you the power of what people might call nutraceuticals, but the power of certain foods. Like there's a collection of
Hmm.
foods that can help reduce eosinophilia. That's
Hmm.
incredible to me, right? So when so many people having problems with eosinophilia
Yep.
and shutting down the eosinophils that you can actually get into and kind of biohack, if you will, the
Yeah.
interleukin pathways and the signaling, the cytokine signaling. So this is why we're doing IPAC EDU, folks. And I've got to tell you right now, if you don't know what the cost of this is, it's less than $10 a lecture. This is $160 for 50. Well, is my math off today? I don't know. It's
It's just a
$160.
shade of it. It's about $10.
It's about $10 a lecture. Let's just say that. So it's $160. You'll get a lot out of this course. Again, you're
Yeah.
going to have a live experience with Dr. Gaeta, and then a follow-up discussion. And then if you keep up with the readings, you'll be able to bring your insights about those readings and questions as we go. So there's going to be focused readings and then an overview on particular topics. Again, starting with the prior to conception through old age. So I'm really super excited, and we should say that the first class is on Monday, which is tomorrow,
Yep.
4/26. Now we're going to keep registration open for those of you who just found this. We're going to keep it open for a week or two so that people can register, and there will be a payment option, so you'll be able to pay $40 at a time. This is through IPAC EDU, and Michael, thank you so much for helping me get the word out. What's your last thought on it?
Well, also, just if folks register after our first class, that's totally fine because we're going to record all of
That's
the
right.
sessions. So if you miss a session, come in after we start, totally fine. You'll easily be able to catch up because all our sessions are being recorded. And, my closing thought would be what you're going to learn in this course will help you more deeply appreciate the importance of nutrition and diet in your life, and also the amazing uh, design of the body in assimilating this, the bounty of the earth in creating our own lives and sustaining that life. And you will also come away with very specific things you can share with others for your family, friends, those you care about. You'll come away with things that you'll feel very confident sharing about how the role of nutrition in health. So it's going to be a great course, and you'll be glad you joined us.
Absolutely. So listen, go register at ipac-edu.org. If you have questions about the course, write to info@ipa-edu.org. We'll get to your questions ASAP. Again, ipa-edu.org. I'm super excited. I can't tell you. You're going to help so many people. And this is just the first time we're teaching the course. This is brand new. I
Yep.
mean, given your experience, but bringing the primary scientific literature to bear on this, that's just
Yep.
fantastic. So, all right,
Hmm.
Michael, well, thank you and have a super, super rest of your weekend. And thanks for taking the
Yep.
time to share it with us.
Looking forward to it, Jack. Thanks.
All right, thanks.